And if you have a question, and I will work my way around to you. We'll still have a couple people filing in here as we go, but Willie P, kick it off.
Afternoon, Christian. How are you?
Good afternoon, Will. I'm fine, thank you. You?
I'm well. I know that probably was a little ambitious to get a read on Enzo after the game Wednesday, but between him and Harrison, how did they both come out of their testing this week?
Harrison fine, he trained well. Unfortunately, Enzo couldn't train, and we need to. I think he's going to be assessed by the doc, or he was assessed late morning. I didn't have any news update as it is, but he looks something that can, not so easy for us.
Wednesday was the first time since I think late April you had all three of them on the pitch together. How difficult is it knowing that, that's been something, unfortunately, that's been a little fleeting for you guys, not having them all together?
Yeah, this is, for us, it's important to have, the players that, the attacking players that we invested and that they are important to us. So ideally, I would like to have the full squad available and to make the tough decisions, because nothing is tougher for a football coach than to leave out players that worked well during the week. This is by far for me the worst thing in management, but I'd rather have this problem than to have players injured. So it would be great, but unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be without Enzo tomorrow. But we need to accept it, and other players will have an opportunity. This is how life works, and we will be hoping that that Enzo will be back with us as soon as possible. But in the meantime, our full attention in terms of playing has to go to the players that they can contribute.
And last one for me, I know that, your answer after the game from between now and then, I know you've had some time to look at the film. How would you assess what happened defensively in the last little bit that gave New York all those opportunities? And then conversely, how they were able to deny you the ability to not only play with the ball, but get as many shot opportunities as you would have liked on Wednesday night?
For me, Will, is, and we spoke about that with the boys today, that we had a little bit more time to reflect. Obviously, we always, with the coaching staff, we look at the game, and we had many possibilities to play. And we didn't. And this is something that we need to address and overcome. Because even after the 1-1, we started to play again. And created another couple of chances. So I believe that there is an element, it's part of the process of growing. I think it's more a mental, something that we need to believe more, to be active always, and to offer solutions when we have the ball. Because too easily, maybe because we were winning and we think that we have got something to lose, we feel that is, let's say, safer, in inverted commas, safer to play long rather than to build. Instead, no. And we gave them the momentum. The games also lives off momentum. It's not that we could play against them like we did here in the past, and we just lost that momentum to play. And then after, when the momentum shifts, it's not so easy to bring it back. And I think that we have the capacity to play for longer. And if you give the momentum to the opposition, you decided to, in the defensive mode, the more they have the ball, the more chances they have to create. So they had 2 or 3 moments in which they created. It's true that they had shots, but a lot of shots from the target. They on target, but from far. Then obviously they hit the post. They had a couple of ones inside the box, but I thought we were well positioned to block it. And but for me, the main problems come from the fact that we for some reason we don't play and we stop that feeling safe. And I always push on that point that we want to see a team that might make mistakes in playing, but I'd rather us playing and making mistakes than to give the ball to the opposition and let them play.
Thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks, Will. Mikael, let's go to you, and then we'll go to Jorge after that.
Good afternoon, Christian. How's it going?
Good afternoon, Miguel. Fine, thank you.
So with Enzo possibly not playing tomorrow, could we see Vinny get back into the squad or not yet?
Who?
Vinny Mello.
Vinimelo, unfortunately, I think he's injured as well.
Do you have any details on that injury?
I think he was getting an MRI. I was told that he got an MRI, but I think unfortunately, he looks like that he's gonna be out for a little while as well.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Jorge.
Hey, Lattanzio, how are you today?
Hey, George. Fine, thank you. Thanks.
Good. I wanted to ask, you've played a lot of different players in different roles this season, especially tinkering with that back line. I wanted to know, is it more because you feel like these players have certain capabilities that can fit multiple roles, or is it due to the necessities of what you currently have with the squad? And is it something that you're looking to address this window?
Good question, Jorge. I think is first of all, I think that there are certain characteristics, as I said in the past, that this squad needs, and I voiced that to the front office. They know, and there is an element of that you just asked. So I am open and honest with you. At the same time, I want to also to exploit certain characteristics that our players have. For example, try Bill in a position as a right back, or even I tried a deal in that, because when we play in a way that we can transform, I like to have certain players with certain characteristics that can help us in transition. But at the same time, yes, there are certain characteristics that I would like to have in our squad and that I hope to address in this window as well.
Okay. And then I know the window is pretty short. I think it closes August 5th or something like that.
I think either is the 4th or the 8th. When is that?
It's early. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but you're right. Anyway, he shuts early. Yes.
Yeah. I know you said you really can't control that, but how confident are you? You've mentioned in the past that you needed 3 players. How confident are you that you'll get those players?
I think our front office is working on that, and I need to, obviously, I trust them, and they know the players with the characteristics that I believe we need in order to move forward and to be able to compete, at least to get to the objective that we have. But listen, at the same time, I am really focused on our squad, and I want to maximize what we have here. I have a few young players that they are improving on a daily basis. Maybe they don't realize that, or they do, because also when they go down to Crown Legacy, obviously they find and they make the difference a lot of time when they go and play. And I think it's down to the fact that they work really hard in training with the first team and with players that they are experienced and that they can, from which they can learn and they can compete. So I think in that sense, I can see the boys, especially the younger ones, getting better and better. And for now, I am totally focused, and they have my full trust. Do we need some help? Do we need certain characteristics? Yes, to improve our squad. But in the meantime, I don't lose my sleep over that. I have total confidence in our squad, because I think that there is a lot of potential still to be explored, but that requires time. Jorge. And I understand that in football, especially at this level, you don't get a lot of time, but I keep going, with the players that we have, and my focus is on them, whoever is available, and I trust them. I trust them to do the job for us and to give our best. That's what I ask them. I don't ask any more that to give the best that they've got. That's, for me, is enough.
And then the last one for me, I mean, the last 3 games, it feels like there's been missed opportunities. You're leading at Red Bulls. You've had great opportunities against Montreal. You're leading in New York. Is there something that you've mentioned to the squad, maybe about finding a way or getting over the line where it feels like the team can get 3 points, but then you end up getting draws?
Yeah, I mean, this is one way of looking at that. I think that when you look at the teams we play away from home, we play against good oppositions. And maybe the table says differently, but I can assure you that both Red Bulls and New York City gave us very, very difficult games. And I've seen them playing really well lately as well against other teams, maybe more accustomed to stay in the highest part of the table. So I don't think that is everything negative. Does it feel as a lost opportunity? Maybe, but at the same time, especially the one against Montreal, where I thought that we should have won. But to get draws away from home in those kind of pitches with those teams, I don't think is nothing to be ashamed of. Of course, you want to, when you are in front, you want to keep the lead and to bring the 3 points at home. But even to get a draw away from home, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. It's not that I want to accept everything lightly, but be realistic. I think also to come out of games and feel disappointed with a draw is a testament that we are growing as a team and as a group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kenneth.
Hey, Christian. Hope all's well.
Cool, thank you.
Just wanted to ask, obviously in the last couple of games, there have been a quad of draws. What are some of the positives you can take from the team as they've still managed to score points and haven't had to drop games in terms of that?
Yeah. The positive is that we have a spirit, we have character. Because it's true that when you are in front, you want to bring the game at home, but it's also true that when you concede away from home and you get, then the momentum is against you and then the environment against you. And I feel that last year we lost few of those games, even being in front. Instead, now I think we are more at ease to at least to manage the situation and find a way of not conceding more. At the same time, I think another positive is that well, there are different positive, but what I want from our team. What I want from our team is to sustain our performance and to be more close to the game that we want to play with the ball for a longer period in the game. This, yes, and this is my focus more than anything, because I think we have the possibility to do so. We're starting to address that. I don't want to be content, but it's not so much for the result, because the result in the end is not that bad. But what is my worry and what is my focus is the performance, and I think there is in us more than what we show.
Awesome, thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, John, and then we finish with Mike.
Okay. Hi, Christian.
Hey, John.
Cincinnati obviously has had a tremendous season so far. From what you've seen, what is it that's made them so good? What are some of the biggest challenges that they'll present to you?
But this is a team that has been together for a while. They clarify the style that they want to have. They found a way of playing which is very efficient in the way that they want to play. And because they're having success with that in terms of results, obviously they give you momentum and belief. But also we need to remember that they have very, very good players in the squad. You know, we know Acosta, we know Kubo, we know Badji is doing well, the midfield, Obina, Barreal. There are many good players, Oglund that already won with Toronto the MLS Cup. Listen, this is a team that is well coached, that they know what they want to do. They play their style pretty efficiently, as I said, and we need to be aware of that. But at the same time, we want to keep our progress and we want to keep developing our identity, and we will have to accept the challenge of playing against a team that is running away, at least in the East, with the points.
Scott Arfield gave an interview, I believe it was either today or yesterday, detailing how big of an influence Ashley Westwood had on his decision to come here. Do you feel like that with Ashley being the captain and just being able to have that stature that he has and that influence that he has, that this shows how much this club has grown, where players of that caliber can now talk to each other and give a good recommendation of the organization, and you're able to get a player of Scott Arfield's caliber in here through word of mouth, like what Ashley was able to do? Tell him about his experience with the club so far.
Yeah, we are growing as a club. I know that there is a lot of expectation. I said it many times, but those expectations has to be managed. And knowing that to go where we want to get, we need to be congruent. We need to be coherent, and we have to do things without cutting corners. And I think a player like Ashley Westwood, that has been in big leagues, in big clubs, he can see that. He can see that, and he's totally invested in what Charlotte FC is doing and wants to do. He's not a guy that will say yes to you and then just to say it. He will voice his opinion in the good time, in the bad time, and I appreciate that. That's what I want, because if you want to grow, we need to be honest with each other. But at the same time, if he felt to recommend the club to Scott Arfield, that tells that the club is moving in the right direction. Not always the right direction is you see every result that you want on a weekly basis, but when you are inside and you see what happens on a daily basis, you can see that it's a club that is moving forward. Of course, we make mistakes like everybody. We are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we are not cutting corners. We want to do things in the way that has to do things. We are all committed to Charlotte FC to bring it forward. And I think Ashley, for me, is the perfect example of that. And, you know, I don't think that any player that wants to work, you know, in the way that he likes to work seriously and not cutting corners, but, you know, doing the right things, will have anything to say against Charlotte FC.
Great. Good luck. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
Okay, see Steve's hand. So Steve, we'll go with you quickly before finishing with Mike.
Well, we always finish with Mike, so I figured that. Hello, Christian. Given the path that Cincinnati has taken to get where they are today, going from being the worst team in the league, for several years to now being at the top of the table. Do you feel that this should serve as, I don't want to say a cautionary tale, but as a positive message to fans and stuff, that it is a process, that nothing, save for Atlanta in their second season, it takes a while to find your form, to find your identity, and to get to the top the way Cincinnati has done?
Yeah. I think that for me the difficulty is looking also at my personal experience that I have. I mean, I can only talk about my personal experiences, and I can talk about looking from outside in, but when you look from outside, you don't have to forget you are on the outside. So you just speculate. But looking at the experience I had with the City Group, I could see a team, and then after a group that doesn't cut corners, and it takes time. And then it took time by spending a lot of money, because really the real challenge is not to do well one season, but to last and to be at the top or there and thereby consistently. This is the real challenge for me. So you use a term that I heard many times, the worst team in the league. They had a season in which, maybe 1 or 2 seasons in which they were figuring it out things. And but the way we talk is the worst team in the league. They didn't have some result, and then after in football you get under pressure, people start to get shaky. But the real challenge is to last. Like for the player is the same. You can have a youngster that come on the pitch, does well because there are no expectations. But the real challenge for us, for me especially when I handle a young player like that, is that how can I make sure that he lasts, that he become a player that consistently will become an MLS player, a pro. So this is not always is possible, not always is easy to do, and not always we succeed. But this has to be in our mind. How can I build something that can last? And maybe to last, you have to go through process that, you do one season, then next season you do okay, the next season they think you should win it, and then, but is how we build the foundation for me. And the foundation to build it takes time. There is no shortcuts. And we want to do something that is continuously developing and progressing. Maybe not at the speed that some people would like. I also would like to have a team that within 6 months, can dominate the league. But the reality is different, and we need to manage expectation. And not so much for me. I mean, I'll take whatever the blame comes, no problem at all. But for the players, especially that they need to be given time to build, the team that represents Charlotte FC, and to give them the chance to develop as well as a team. And if we are not patient with that, I think we don't do a good service. We say that we support the team, but we don't really support. We have to support in the difficult moments.
I agree, and I stand corrected. Worst record and worst team are not necessarily the same thing. So I was
reading. Listen, I want to mention an American coach that I started to read a few years ago, and for me was a massive source of inspiration, which is John Wooden from UCLA, and what is success and what is not. And obviously, he was a great coach and a great inspiration for many people. But he was saying that for him, winning in life is about giving your best. And he said, of course, everybody looked at him when he won 14 or 10 leagues, UCLA, 10 championship. But then he said nobody mentioned the first 14 in which we didn't win anything. And but he felt that he was probably more successful in those foundation years than he was afterwards. So it's put things in perspective. I know nobody's going to give nowadays a professional coach 14 years of patience, but is how we measure success, how we measure progress. And I thought that many of the things that he said and that I was reading really inspired me.
Yeah, his book is still on my shelf, and just in this area, both Dean Smith at Carolina and Mike Krzyzewski at Duke were not successful early on, and the fans wanted them out, and that worked out okay. So anyway, thank you for your time, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, Mike.
Good afternoon, Christian. Good to see you again, sir.
Good afternoon, Mike. Thank you. You too.
As we've gone through this season with you guys, have you seen your side play their best yet, or are they building?
No,
and you continue to build
I
that?
can say no. I've not seen my team to play the best football yet. No. At times we play well, but our real challenge, and I think this is a good question, our real challenge is to play well with the ball and without the ball for longer periods in the game. And we have not done that yet. And then you can ask me why. This is something that we are addressing here with the boys all together. And we need to overcome certain mental obstacles that can come to a time. And it's part of the process, it's part of the growth.
Are they, and you have just addressed it at length about the build and trying to build consistency and build that. Are they taking steps in that direction? Are you seeing that happening?
Yeah, we work on a daily basis on that. We work on a daily basis on improving details and improving the way we play, the way we defend. We have a staff here that is really committed to succeed. They're really committed to do a great job for Charlotte FC, and they come with ideas. We confront the way we see football, the way we played last game. We have a structure and organization here that I'm very proud to have. And we analyze many things. And so, but in the end, the players, when it comes the moment on the pitch, they have to execute. And it's up to the boys, which I have full trust, full belief. Sometimes I think there is a moment, and listen, I heard that many times also in big clubs in Europe, that they go up to a certain ceiling, and some of them, they spend hundreds and hundreds of millions, and they can't go to the next step. It might take a few years to find out the right formula. Even sometimes they think, okay, they did it by buying so many players, by spending so many hundreds of millions of euros, but it takes time. There is no, again, I mentioned again the City Group, look how many years it took to win the Champions League. And yet, if you look at the interviews, they always talk about the process, how one defeat 1 year taught them something, and so forth and so forth. And this is, players that they won many things nationally, internationally, with the biggest football group in the world. And that tells you that, we want to achieve everything straight away. There are certain mental obstacles that we need to overcome, individually and collectively.
I wanted to get away from the philosophy after last week, so I wanted to just see, kind of get a temperature, take a temperature there. My last one, obviously, we're going to go to the movies here, and I've asked you over and over again about your favorite actors and certain actors. Yeah. I'm going to take Sophia Loren off the table. Your favorite actress is who?
Well, many, but I would say Meryl Streep and Robin Wright.
Is there a particular role that stood out for either?
Yeah, Meryl Streep I liked in many movies, in when he did, I think, falling in love with De Niro was her, no? I think that was quite an old movie. I throw you. It's an old movie even for your son. I'm older than everybody. And then Robin Wright, I love the way she, even if she was a little bit evil in House of Cards.
You know why I had to take Sophia Loren off the table, right?
I can imagine, but why?
Well, it's the Italian actress. I mean, that's a layup for you.
That's what I thought. And
Yeah, if I give
yes,
I give you
that
Sophia
is even
Loren, that's a
before my
layup.
time.
But
That's
it's still,
but
but
yeah,
that's still
no,
part
no,
of.
she's such an icon, such an icon. I hope one day you will ask me about directors. This is what
Okay.
this is what I like. But no, but listen, many actresses, and these are the first two that came to my mind. So
I can ask you about directors. I know you mentioned Luc Besson last week or
but
the week
it's not my
before.
favorite. But for the next one, otherwise, I am scared that you ask me something that I'm not good at answering.
Right. No baseball questions. I'll get you a director next week.
Right.
Thank you, Christian. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, thanks everyone.